happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. It's your girl, Milagros here, and we are in the second week of January of 2018. Very exciting times. And a couple of things, a couple of topics came up that women emailed me about, but the one that stuck out to me the most, especially, I feel like it's a nice segue coming off of our video last week about personal responsibility, and it's a great way to keep this in our minds and as a reminder for progressing through the year. And it was about competition. And the question was about whether or not, how much time we should focus on seeing what our competitors are doing and, learning about what our competitors are doing. And this is a really great question, not just in business, but also in our personal lives, because there is a lot of hoopla and talk, especially in this country, about competition. And it's a big deal, who's going to win in the competition. When it comes to business, I feel like my competitors aren't even my competitors, because the reality is my only true competition is me. My job is to be better than who I was yesterday, last week, last month, and last year. Because when I'm constantly pouring into myself and doing that work, I'm constantly getting better for my clients, which then means if they're looking for my brand of what I do, the way that I do it, I'm ready and I'm evolving and I'm constantly getting better. If you're looking for someone else's brand, go do that, right? People who love Apple, and people who love Androids, love Androids. And there are Mac people and there are PC people, and there's a reason for both of those categories. And I wouldn't even necessarily call them competition. There's just variety. And the other part about competition in terms of checking out our competition when it comes to business is I like to look at them more as what can I learn from them? What can I learn from the mistakes that they made? And they're more like mentors, and they've kind of paved the way for me. They've been doing it a lot longer than I have. I'm certainly not going to look at someone who's been doing what I'm doing for 2 weeks when I've been doing it for quite some time. I'm going to look at people who are successful and been doing it for a long time. And then when I look at them that way, they're not my competition. They're my mentors. Whether they know it or not, they become my mentors. They become learning agents for me so that, again, I can keep getting better at what I'm doing. And when we talk about this in both our personal lives and in business, I like to think of it like a race. If you're running a race and you're constantly looking to your side to see where your competitor is, or you're constantly looking behind you to see how much distance between you and your competitor, you're going to trip and fall. You're going to lose focus. You're not going to be going as fast as you could be if you were just facing forward and paying attention. If you stayed in your lane and did the best you could in your lane. That, to me, is winning, right? Because I'm just focusing on what I'm doing and what I have going on, and I'm plowing ahead forward. Have you ever watched the relay race? Have you ever seen anybody kind of look to the side or look? No, they're too focused on what they're doing in their lane. And if they did, they're probably in the back. True story. If they're looking to the sides or behind them, they're probably in the back of the race simply because they're not focused on their own lane. They're giving too much time and energy to what other people around them are doing. They're watching those people evolve into their greatness, and they're missing out on the time and energy that they could be tapping into their own greatness. So the number one competitor that you have is you. That's it. Just you. Because here's the truth. If you're constantly doing the work to get better at what you do and at who you are, no one can compete with that, because you are an original. You are a masterpiece, period, right? There is no one on the planet like you, that looks like you, that acts like you, never has been, never will, who has your background and your stories and your experiences that you can use to propel yourself into a greater life, your personal life, your social life, and your business life. No one else is like you. Nobody. Ever on the planet. So when I see someone else doing something similar to what I'm doing, I go, that's great, fantastic. If she's new or he's new and I connect with them, I'm going to try to network and help, because I know what it's like when I first got started. If it's someone who's been doing it for a while, I'm going to try to network and learn if I can. I want to learn from them. But the reality is that I can take all of that data and information and make it into into a business or into a life that fits me. Because no one can do what I do the way that I do, because no one is me. And no one can do what you do the way that you do, because no one is you. So if I had to answer this question directly, I would say, what competition? There are either mentors or there are mentees. That's it. People who have been doing it before you and you can learn from, or people who are coming after you and you can help and teach. That's what that is. And then in the meantime, you stay in your lane, you develop yourself, you build yourself up, you make yourself the best version of yourself every single day. This is a great quote, and I don't know who it's by. And it says, a flower doesn't think of competing with the flower next to it. It just blooms. Right? That flower has enough work to do. It doesn't need to be worried about how much prettier, how much brighter, or how much bigger the flower next to it is going to be. Nope. Because the reality is, even when we're talking about competition, and even if we're talking about business, you win when you participate. You win when you learn more about yourself in the process. You win when you have fun. You win when you acknowledge that something is new and that new takes time, and then you take the time to learn the new thing. You win when you practice. You win when you are scared and do it anyways. You win when you enjoy the process. So it really is about enjoying the process. So that's my nugget for you today. There is no competition. Your job is to run your race and to do the best version, to be the best version of yourself every single day. Better than who you were yesterday, better than who you were last week, better than who you were last month. You know what that alarm is? That's my alarm saying it's time to make sure that you get in your book and start reading. No lie, because I want to read more books this year than I read last year. So I set myself an alarm. Coincidence? I think not. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a great rest of your week and a fantastic, super sparkly weekend. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you have your own ideas or questions or things about competition, please put it in the comments. And if you know someone who could benefit from this, go ahead and share, because sharing is caring. You are blessed and a blessing. Do not forget that, and you deserve a life that is super sparkly everything. And one of the best ways to have that is to make sure that you're constantly working on yourself and getting yourself to the next level of greatness, because everybody has greatness in them, including you. I hope you have a great week and a fantastic super sparkly weekend. See ya! Peace!